All clear. Bunnings trade, Perth Super Sprint race number 2. Perth has turned on a gorgeous, sparkling day as the supercars erupt once more. Waters got a great jump and he might close down, and he does. Waters has got the job done into 1, but there's contact. Will just gives him a tiny touch-up. Brody's gone up into 3rd position, but a great start by Waters, who's now got some fresh air to deal with through 2 and 3.
That was a beautiful start. The clean side of the road absolutely worked for him, and he was able to get right across there. Big front suspension damage for Holdsworth. The left-hand front is significantly damaged off the road. He did a good job not to go in the fence there. That's not only a punctured tyre, but it looks like they've had wheel-to-wheel contact there, maybe with Thomas Randall.
Steering damage on that car, and the question will be whether or not Lee can limp it back, or whether in fact that triggers the safety car that we spoke about pre-race. Thomas Randall, I would say, clearly is the other driver involved in that. So Waters has got a margin. It's already half a second on the run into turn 6. They're all weaving around that oil that we showed you pre-race. End of the standing lap for Cam Waters. And he's got 0.6 of a second over Davison. That's a nice cushion to get things started. Brody up into 3rd.
Monster crash.
High. Now, he's had big ones here before, and he's gone heavily to the inside wall. This will trigger the BP Ultimate safety car. And sadly, the Newlon car, huge damage. So he would have been helped in that process.
He's been escorted there for sure. Yep.
If you recall back in the day, I think it was 2013, he had a huge moment over the top of the brow here as well. But images on board of Pi releases the safety net and he's okay, but he'd be stunned. When you have a rattler like that against the concrete wall, it takes a while to get the orientation back, and that's the man paying the bills, Charlie Schwerkoff, trying to figure out what's happened further back in the pack. The interlock must have... Oh, there it is, right there at turn 2. Okay. So Thomas Randall and Lee Holdsworth get together, and that was pretty hefty damage in the left front corner for Lee's car. On board with the Walkinshaw Andretti United car.
This is Mostert.
Control to all personnel. Red flag, red flag, red flag. The race has been suspended.
Okay, so you heard Race Management Channel. Suspended race. It's going to take a while to clean this car up. Oh, that was heavy duty.
That should have gone in that left-hand fence then. That is amazing that that didn't go straight into the left-hand fence. That has hit hard.
Good work by Lee to be able to wrestle that off and not end up eating some concrete down here. So an awkward moment, and Macaulay Jones, Tools.com car's got a bit of damage around the front of it as well from the bump and grind through turns 1 and 2. Now this is the end of the standing lap. Now let's have a look further back in the pack to understand who did what to who. Okay, so the other car there was a Matt Stone racing car, but I'm not sure which of them it was.
Jack LeBrock.
You reckon?
Yep.
So here we go. Yeah, you're right. Car number 34. So he's moved to the right. Pi's moving to the right, moving to the right, moving to the right until there's contact.
Seriously. You just can't do that stuff. It's fine. It's fine when you're driving alongside each other to be making contact like that, but that is a seriously damaged motor car at an absolutely, high-speed area of 200 kilometres an hour, and at any point that accident doesn't happen if you don't make contact. You don't go off the road without some help.
So meaning Scott going to the right.
Well, Scott was going to the right, but right at the end of it, you've still got a duty of care to come out of the throttle.
So that's the onboard view, and it just went on and on and on and on and on.
And turned it left.
So you got Scott going to the right, you got Jack going to the left, and in the end you've got a bucket load of loose nuts and bolts at the end of pit lane there up against the concrete wall. That's going to be expensive, that one. And we've got a very tight turnaround to the next event.
So there'll be a point of view that says that Scott Pye's going to the right. You can't defend as aggressively as that, because when there's an overlap, you're not supposed to take the guy off the road.
All right, so after all of that time, Phil, we're back in the game now. So we'll go car racing once more. And the expectation here is it's going to be vigorous, as it was off the start of this second of the 3 races this weekend. So the BP Ultimate safety cars come back into the lane right in front of our combox. Cam Waters now has control of the field. There's the dirty line, under brakes into the final corner from the oil deposited, and then there's a change of circumstances to the right here in the patch on the fence. We are racing once more in West Oz.
Nice restart, Cam Waters. Will Davison went with him. Di Pasquale tries to sneak down the inside of Will Brown. And Jake Kostecki was able just to maintain that spot there. It looked like he was going to run wide off the exit, but he was able to get away with it. Van Gisbergen, just to keep you up to speed, is still in 12th.
Just within striking distance, and this is pretty lively. Hazelwood up on the outside, goes the long way round and crowds back onto the road and covers.
Yeah, that really always worries me, that, because you don't know where the other cars are when you fire straight back on like that.
A bit of line of stern going on out there at the moment. They're all just watching each other. Shane Van Gisbergen's tucked right in behind Brock Feeney, who in turn is just chewing away at the back of car number 35 there at the moment in Todd Hazelwood. So they're over the top of the hill here at 5.
He's complaining that he's being held up by Brock. And I think they're trying to come up with some arrangement for Shane to get by. And I think what he's saying is he's going to try to let Brock have a crack at the back of Hazelwood and try to follow Brock through, but Brock doesn't look like he's quite close enough there. He might be over the top of the track in terms of turn 5 down to 6, and Brock misses the apex on the way in, and so did Shane, just slightly.
So this is the moment into the final corner, and we picked up this little battle just after it was unfolding between Pither and Slade. Looking at the crisscross here, and chasing down the inside on the run down towards turn 1. Now Waters and Hazelwood in. Here he is. It's like Where's Wally, but with supercars.
This is going to be interesting now because he's got the tight line, the cold tyre, but it's just good enough. Remember that gap you said? That gap has gone warp, and that pit stop from Davison that you reported as a 2.8 has put him right up in behind the Monster Mustang. Nice job by DJR.
So he's under pressure now, Cam Waters, and that was a very, very efficient stop from the team at Dick Johnson Racing to be able to get him right in touch. And he's threatening here because Will got a good exit out of turn 6. He might have a kilometre on hour extra out of there that could be put to good use down here on the brakes, and he does have the big dive. A desperate dive down the inside for Davison. They're battling for the effective lead. Waters runs to the outside. Davison has the run as they go down towards turn 1, and Waters gets back. What an exchange.
Gets down the inside of McCall.
5-second time penalty to car 6, unsafe re-entry.
Ooh, there's big news. So Cam Waters has got a 5-second penalty for their release. I didn't see anything.
Out past the curve and back on.
No, it's unsafe for re-entry. Okay, I'm thinking release. Okay, so it's what you talked about. All right, so that's interesting. I've immediately started thinking about the pit lane. Sad image there for Will Brown.
Cycling, the turning commander all the way off and all the way back on.
And if the safety car does redeploy, Heimgartner with 4 tyres is going to play a big role in this now. He's 7th.
Time certainly was 13:50 plus a lap local time. So this is what Chad was talking about. Whoa, in fact, he did grab the car controller, only just.
He's the first of the holders.
But the tail gunners, those that have got some grip, keep an eye on, because we've got Heimgartner in 7th position, potentially with some better grip available to him here at the moment. Van Gisbergen sitting up there in 10th position at the moment, just in front of his teammate. And now Waters has got to frantically try and undo the damage done by the intervention of the safety car and try and squeak back out to plus 5 seconds if he's got any chance of victory. And could this be the breakthrough moment that Will Davison and the Shell V-Power Racing team have been looking for in the recent past with him? So a nail biter and some angry drivers in both those lead cars for completely different reasons.
He'll be looking to fire down the inside of Brody. Best thing to do here is to feint left and dive right. And he does. He gets it done. If he can make this car come off the final corner and get to the back of Di Pasquale, it might be a podium also for Heimgartner with 4 tyres and a late stop. Great strategy by Brett Jones Racing.
And they've often been good in those reactions, that team. Down the inside now comes Van Gisbergen and grabs another one. He's squeezing the last bit of life out of these Dunlop soft tyres. He clips Jake Kostecki along the way. Now he's up into 6th position. So this time, final corner, Cam Waters turns the corner and lines it up. He will be physically first across the line, but he won't be awarded the win. The victory today goes to Will Davison. The margin at the end was 1.4 seconds. Waters over Davison. But Will Davison breaks through for the Shell V-Power Racing team for his first victory since Bathurst 2016, and Jack Smith buries it in the sand. And what a great performance by Andre Heimgartner.
So, yeah, man, thank you.
What a race.
People have been running off there for years, absolute years, ever since I was a kid, and not one person has ever got a penalty for that.
And here's the bloke that crossed the line first, but not awarded the first position. Sam Potter, engineer Mark Larkham.
Yeah, I want to try and grab a quick word with Cam. Let me see, I hate doing this bit, but let's do it anyway. Hey, Cam, I know you probably don't want to talk, mate, but we're keen to hear what you got to say about it, because you said you've been doing that in and around there your whole life, running wide out there. You got dive bombed, you got pushed out. Just give us your take on it, mate. Give us an honest take.
First of all, I wouldn't have been out there if I didn't get doored. But I'm all for hard racing. I love that part of it. And, you know, I've been racing for years. Everyone's been doing that. No one's ever got a penalty for it. I'm the first one.
All right, thanks, mate.
Yeah, he's pretty angry. There's even a tremor in his voice. I reckon he's so angry. But for Will Davison, it's elation, not anger. And a breakthrough that he's been in search of for such a long time now, coming in to this weekend, podium after podium after podium, and the tantalising prospect of a victory, and particularly given the fact that he's had so many Armour All poles, and finally that key conversion for him. So it's a 1-2 for the Shell V-Power Racing team, the one that they've been looking for, the one that they did back here in 2019 with Fabian and Scotty. So Davison over Di Pasquale, and a fine performance here by Andre Heimgartner for R&J Batteries to get onto the podium, position 3. Waters, with the penalty, drops back into 4th position ahead of Shane Van Gisbergen, 11-5. Nice recovery, solid points. Brody then followed by James Courtney, Brock Feeney, Jake Kostecki, solid performance, and then Todd Hazelwood. Further down the order, Reynolds, Mostert, who's actually recovered quite well, Slade, Jacobson, Pither, Winterbottom, LeBrock, Percat, Jones, Randall, Holdsworth. Let's get down to Jess.